again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you. It is time for the Wednesday night pick me up. Happens Wednesday evenings at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Opportunity to get together, sharing a spiritual experience, sharing a spiritual message, a little bit of music, and what I trust is a fun and enjoyable half hour for you. So please do, if you're with us, drop a comment in the comment box. Let me know you're here, and I will be able to say hello, see that you're here. I can't see that you're here if you're not commenting. So leave a comment, and we'll be sure to say hi. However, let's get this all started with how about a little bit of centering prayer here this evening. If you're so inclined and comfortable, I invite you to join me in an opportunity of just knowing that there is one. There's only one thing going on here, and I call that God. One power, one presence, one intelligence, one source, one supply, one expression, one experience. It's all life, it's all God, it's all the time, and it's all right happening right here, right now. As my life, as the lives of each and every one that listen into this broadcast now or at another time. The oneness of life revealing itself in unique and interesting and sometimes crazy ways. No matter what it is, it's got to be good because it's got to be God. It really could be no other way. So I'm in this moment just grateful for whatever wants to be known, whatever wants to reveal itself, whatever wants to come forward this evening, and know that it is good. And so it is. All right. Cool. Okay, so let's get started with a little bit of music this evening. You all know how much I love my videos and the music that we've got in this movement. So let's set this up. I use this song quite a bit because I love this song, and what it does is it reminds me of just deeply we are one. How about that? I'm gonna grab my headphones real quick too, because otherwise you are gonna hear an awful heck of an echo, and we don't want to do that to you. However, I'm pretty quick at making that switch. All right, here we are. Gary Lynn Floyd, Floyd Lula, Jamie Lula, one big family.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family, hey, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound, here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound, here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound, hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big
Always helps when I unmute. Gary Lynn Floyd, Robin Hackett, One Big Family. And I'll tell you, that's the reminder I need again and again and again. I need that reminder that we are one big family, one global family, that we really are all in this thing together. Now, it may not look it, and I get that. And it definitely, there are days where it is hard to see that in some of the people that, well, make it into my news feed, right? We've all gotten to this point where we're now all so much more online, social connections, all of our connections were really, except for those in the house, and those were perhaps, a little bit of socializing outside of the house. But realistically, we have come to a place where we're living a new way of being, where the predominance of our interactions are in on social platforms and through the computer. So I think we're going to have to change that. I'm going to have to change my perspective of how that operates. I'm going to have to change how I operate in the world. How's this all changed you? See, what I know is I know that there is a transformation happening, and I know that we're all here as part of that. If we weren't part of it, we wouldn't be here. And if we weren't part of it, we wouldn't know what was really going on. But we do. If you're here, if you're watching this, if you're sharing this with a friend, please do. But the important part is that we're here together as one global family, and we are the transformation process. We are transformation in process. We get to demonstrate it, get to see it. I want to start off this week with a quote I used last week by Ram Dass. You and I get rid of that little banner there. You and I are the force for transformation in the world. We're the consciousness that will define the nature of the reality we are moving into. We are the consciousness that will define the nature of the reality we're moving into. Now, that last part of that statement by Ram Dass, that's the important part. We always have to remember that it is our consciousness that is moving into form. What we hold in consciousness is moving into form. So if we hold in consciousness that the election is rigged, then guess what? We have a greater experience, a greater possibility of experiencing that. If we hold in consciousness that even though I might not be able to see what's happening or understand exactly what the process is that we're moving through, the truth still remains. If I hold the consciousness that there's something good emerging here, then there is. It's what we've been about. That's what this whole New Thought Media Network really is about, is finding a way to share a greater experience of the oneness, of doing something differently, of being something different. And I'm sort of reminded of our we are statements. This is sort of our mission, vision, and purpose statements. But I like to, because I want them to be about active. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment. That is not a vision. That is who we are. Is that vision? Is that who we are, expanding, growing day by day? We are inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment. Is that a great mission statement? I think so. Inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment. That's what we're about. And our purpose, creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all, for everyone. Not just those that get it or those that don't get it, everyone, because we are one global family. And see, this is our calling. This is the calling, not of our generation, not of a people, not of one culture. This is the calling of the planet. Everyone on planet Earth is being called into this same experience in one way or another. Nobody's getting around it. Nobody's not part of it at this point. Everybody's involved. Holmes said this. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said this: the spiral of life is upward. Evolution carries us forward, not backwards. Eternal and progressive expansion is its, Now, in this case, it's is referring to God. The spiral of life is upward. Evolution carries us forward, not backwards. Eternal and progressive expansion is its law, and there are no breaks on its continuity. God is forever eternal and forever a progressive expansion, not a regressive expansion, not a going back to the way it was, a progressive expansion, progress into something new. Holmes continued, it seems to me that our evolution is the result of unfolding consciousness of that which already is and needs but to be realized to become fact in everyday life. So peace already is, love already is, abundance already is, prosperity already is. We just individually, each of us needs to realize that fact and to recognize that fact in everyday life again and again and again, moment after moment after moment, no matter what's going on in our lives. Our evolution is the result of an unfolding consciousness. That's the work we do together. We find ways to evolve our consciousness through prayer, through meditation, through visioning, through journaling, through spiritual community, through music, through all of it. See, New Thought Media Network, we're a part of the Centers for Spiritual Living. That's a fabulous organization, lofty ideals and goals and visions and missions. I love what Centers for Spiritual Living puts out. And each of the individual ministries of this organization is empowered to bring forth this message in a way that that is unique and different. You're not hearing the same thing every Sunday, and you're not hearing it from the same people, and you can access and find this philosophy in so many places. That's what I think is really cool. Part of the global vision that Centers for Spiritual Living holds, and they hold a vision, and there's 10 pieces of this vision, and I'll give you a little heads up. Very soon here, coming in October, I think there's going to be a brand new podcast that will include a lengthier discussion on each of the tenets in the global vision. But one of them says, we see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Individually and collectively. See, this global vision's been activated for years now. We've been praying on this. This has been a part of Centers for Spiritual Living for over a decade or more. The original global vision, global heart vision, goes back a couple of decades. There's been a lot of people doing a lot of work in consciousness around this aspect of creating a world that works for everyone. So we envision a world in which individually and collectively, as individuals and as organizations, we're called to a higher state of consciousness and action. What that means is what used to be will never be again. What used to be will no longer serve. What used to be just doesn't do it. It's never going to, what used to be is, we're never going back to that because it served its purpose. It's done. We're done with that. Now we are evolving. We are progressing up the spiral. Now, a lot of people here watching might know that I love spiral dynamics, and I love the imagery of spiral dynamics, and I love the imagery of moving upward and outward, expanding and moving upward, moving up in consciousness to a greater understanding, and moving outward to a more expansive consciousness that's more inclusive than ever before. In order to do that, we're going to have to tear down some old ways of being. And when you know it, planet Earth has given us the great opportunity to do that now, isn't it? We are tearing down the old ways of being, moment by moment by moment, every day. Healthcare system, school system, policing system, justice system, incarceration. Did I say healthcare? Politics. We're pulling apart all of these different systems, and what's going to be left is what works. What doesn't work is being cast aside so that we can take this new state of consciousness that we've been building and allow it to come into form. One of the things I love from The Science of Mind is a quote by Ernest Holmes, and I went searching for exactly where this is today, and I didn't find it. It just sort of lives in my consciousness. When we describe God, the allness, the oneness, as one self-existent cause, a self-existent cause that is forever taking on form and abandoning that form in order to take on new form. One self-existent cause, God, that is taking on form, healthcare system, and then abandoning that form in order to take on a new form. I love it. I love the quote. I love the concept. I love the idea because we are so knee deep in that right now. Letting go of everything that no longer serves and allowing the one cause to take away, to dissipate, to dissolve, to outright destruct and destroy sometimes those things that are no longer serving us. And in its place, there's room for something new. Well, what are we going to do that's new? That's up to us. That's on our end. That's what we get to do. And I'll tell you, as I look around the world, and as I look at the good news stories that I follow, as I look for the promising stories, the stories that remind me that we are creating a world that works for everyone, as I look at those stories, I see more and more young people. And I see more and more teenagers. I see more and more young adults creating ideas and doing the work to bring forward all kinds of stuff. All I got to do is turn on, tune in, and open up to what is serving our evolution rather than what's detracting our evolution. And I'll tell you, I I have a piece in this because I find that as I continue to do this work, as I continue to spend more and more time every day in spiritual practice, there are times where my news feed doesn't seem to reflect my consciousness. Now, how could that be? My news feed doesn't seem to reflect my consciousness. I figured it out. My news feed isn't a reflection of just my consciousness. My news feed is a reflection of the collective consciousness representative of a large portion of the people that I know and associate with and that know and associate with me. But I have right, I'm not one of those guys that just says yes to only my family and friends. I got quote Facebook friends, social media friends all over the planet. Some I never interact with, and maybe they see my posts, maybe they don't, but they represent a portion of the collective consciousness that is being reflected through my newsfeed. And I'll tell you, it doesn't always look that rosy. It's not all unicorns and puppy dogs and roses and rainbows. There are times where it would appear to me that humanity has, we may have taken a giant leap away from our good senses. And we may be taking a giant leap into a greater understanding of our values and our priorities and the principles that we live upon and the vision that we claim we're about. So what I believe is I believe we still have within us the space, the opportunity, the room to grow and expand and to bring more into the world. More love, more light, more beauty, more truth, new ways of doing all these systems that are breaking down. I know there are conscious beings within the police force. I know there are people of consciousness within the healthcare system, within our judicial system, our all of it, our incarceration system. I know there are people of consciousness that are right now awakening to a new consciousness. I know people that thought they were conscious and turns out, well, they still got some hidden racism in there, but they're dealing with it. They're working with that. They're coming to recognize their own bias. And I'm in there too, folks, right? There's things that I still slip into my language, somehow show up in my world. It's like, wow, I still have that little bit of belief left. Let's work with that. Let's eliminate that. Let's bring something new online. Bring something new into our awareness. I got another song I want to share with you, and then we're going to come back and do a prayer. Before I do, however, I'd like to share this mantra with you for the week. I am a vital member of the one global family. I know that deeply we are one. And I know it might seem a little simple to say it out loud to the computer, no one at home, or maybe your kids are listening in. But please say that with me. I am a vital member of the one global family. I know that deeply we are one. Let's do that again. I am a vital member of the one global family. I know that deeply we are one. One more time. With a little bit more feeling, a little more gusto, a little more oomph. I am a vital member of the one global family. I know that deeply we are one. And it's in a recognition of that oneness that I speak this day. It is in this moment that I remind myself and invite each one here to be a part of that remembering, to remember the one, to remember that one life, one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence that is expressing itself as all of life, my life, your life, everyone's life, everyone across this entire planet and beyond. Those that hear these words now on this broadcast, those listening at another time to a rebroadcast, those that never even hear these words, still part of the one, still part of the allness, the everything that is God's life. And so I know that that magnificence of God's life is pouring forth through and as each one of us. Everyone, a vital expression of God's life and God's creative force on this planet. So I know that we are each absolutely necessary to the evolution that is upon us, to the evolutionary process that we're involved in, to the transformation that is happening to human consciousness and therefore in human form. I am so very grateful to be present to this, to be aware of this, to be on the team, to be on humanity's team. Serving that evolution, serving that recreation of the old into a creation of the new. Grateful to allow and to be open to unknown ideas, things that don't even seem possible, but yet are the divine inspiration that sparks a creation, that sparks an opportunity, that brings forth something magnificent. That's the way the universe works. That's the way God works. And so I am in this moment filled with absolute gratitude for the truth that is being revealed here this day. Grateful for the words, for the message, for the music, and for that deep, deep knowing that everything is happening exactly as it must, for the highest and the best of everyone involved. And so I relax into the moment. I recognize we shall overcome, that love will rise again.
It's burning inside, the hurting and the suffering. Minds creating anger, fear and pain, suffocating our times. The tougher it gets, the rougher social media cries. But we see to it that we tweeting only negative lines. We're sick and tired of history, but repeating it twice. Greed, anger and violence, clearly stealing our nights. Feeling it tight between the shoulders with a chill in the spine. Pinching myself, waking up, trying to stop the rewind and move forward towards stories, overcoming our fears. Choosing love over hate, praying, trading hugs over tears. There's only one choice, breaking down the walls and repair every broken heart on this planet till there's no longer fear.
Walls can't hold us in. Fear can't keep us down. Love will rise again. Yeah, it's rising right now. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer,
We shall overcome.
every time I question am I getting stronger.
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Young Gandhi couldn't fathom how to deal with himself when he was thrown off the train and the pain that he felt. Mrs. Parks disrespected, dragged into jail because of the color of her skin, organs, tissues, and cells. One day, a young girl was shot on a bus by a man, a terrorist, part of the Taliban. He said, on this land, you have no right to stand for what you believe in. Girls have no chance here. Well, now, that's just the story of three souls who shook our planet after being down on their knees. And it's not gonna stop. Those seeds have now become trees, and as human beings, we'll keep on digging till we find peace.
Yeah, the cynics always say that nothing ever changes. The human nature's bound to stay the same. But it couldn't be more plain that violence never pays, injustice never stays. It's bound to fade away. What if history awaits? What if today's the day? So let's all lead the way. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer.
We shall overcome.
Every time I question am I getting stronger.
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. Come on now.
I will carry on.
I will carry
Yeah, I will carry on.
I will carry on.
After we're gone.
Long after we're gone.
The roots of the tree we plant will be strong.
Yeah, come on. Yep. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
Makes me wanna sing now. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer.
We shall overcome.
Every time I question am I getting stronger.
We shall overcome.
Make a change, we gotta push much farther.
Someday.
'Cause I'm feeling it deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart.
I do believe.
I do believe.
I do believe.
We shall overcome someday.
Come on, put your hearts together. Here we go. Woo! I knew it. God had a plan for us to do it. To hit rock bottom before we rise and continue. To first learn greed before we learn to be human. To do wrong deeds before we learn to spread beauty. There's always a plan, and now it's time to take a stand for the right of the planet, every woman and man. We ain't gonna stop, only growing our demands for all beings to feel peace in every heart and land. Thank you, Lord, for the strength and the courage to bring us together and keep our souls nourished. These tough times will only drown in our chorus, cause we all believe that the truth is before us. We shall overcome this pain. We shall overcome this day. We pray for love to lead the way.
We shall overcome someday.
We pray for love to lead the way.
So knowing love does lead the way. Knowing the one leads the way. The love brings each to their own magnificence. I am grateful for this experience, grateful for this sharing, grateful to know God's got all of this, so I can get out of the way and let go and let God be God. And I invite you to join me in an affirmation of this truth as we say together. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, dear ones. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for making this ministry work. There's a link going across the bottom of your screen and in the description of this video. That's how you donate. That's how you keep us on the air. So we thank you for your gifts, your tithes, your offerings. All of it goes to keep the programming happening. And I tell you, we got all kinds of programming happening. New programs coming all the time, new opportunities and experiences. And if you want to stay in touch, jump on to our newsletter. There's an email address right there. Jump in there and say hello and give us your email address. One email a week, I promise. One email a week that lets you know what's happening, what's coming up, and what the new things are that are happening in our ministry as well. And I tell you, we really do have a lot going on. A couple of things I want to mention that are new items on the list. Live in concert, Nathan Aswell from British Columbia, along with Laura Topper and Jason Salmon from the UK. Truly spanning the globe on Saturday, September 26th, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. in the UK. A great morning experience for those of us over here on this side of the pond, and being on. So join us for that. What else we got going on? If you're not sure, Friday night fireside chat is now happening. 6 p.m. Mountain, a great experience. And Friday mornings, my brother Elzia and I get together 7 a.m. right here on the New Thought Media Network to talk a little shit. Did I say that out loud? Yes. We're going to talk. We have some great discussions about the state of the world, the state of affairs, and how you can bring a spiritual perspective to that. So, all right, folks, I've about used all of my time allotted to me this evening. Thank you for being with us. We're going to be back tonight at 8:15 for evening prayers here on the New Thought Media Network. That happens every day, 8:15 a.m. and p.m. One of the members of our prayer team does a 15-minute prayer broadcast where we really pump up the vibration. So join us for that. Until next time, I am Reverend Robert Brzezinski. I am in love with who you are and what you're doing in the world. And I'm looking for my get out of free card. There it is. There's my get out of free card. Love you. See you next time. Bye now.